I'm just helping your father. Henry, why are you so paranoid? My wife Mia said while holding the signature papers. I smiled. Because I just found out you're trying to steal it $10 million. Her face turned white when I got the evidence. The phone vibrated on Henry's desk, cutting through the hum of his Manhattan office. Linda Thompson's name flashed on the screen. His family's attorney for over a decade. She rarely called unless it was urgent. Henry, 38, an investment banker with a knack for reading markets and people, sensed trouble. He answered, his voice steady despite the tightening in his chest. Linda, what's wrong? We need to meet today. Henry, it's about your father. Can you make it to my Brooklyn office by 3? Her tone was professional, but carried an edge of alarm. Is Dad okay? Henry's father, William, 75, had been battling dementia for 2 years. His $10 million fortune, built from a logistics empire, made him a target. Henry had hired Elena, a trusted caregiver, to ensure his safety. In a way, it's about him. I'll explain when you get here. Linda hung up, leaving no room for questions. Henry canceled his afternoon meetings, grabbed his keys, and headed for the elevator. The drive across the Brooklyn Bridge felt endless, each red light amplifying his unease. Linda's cryptic urgency gnawed at him. William's condition had worsened, but he still had lucid days. Had something changed? Or was it about Mia, his wife of 5 years? She'd been pushing to help with William's finances lately, offering to review his accounts. Henry had brushed it off as care, but now doubt crept in. At Linda's office, a converted brownstone, she greeted him with a grim nod and led him to a private room. A white noise generator hummed on her desk, signaling secrecy. Sit, she said, sliding a folder across the table. This is going to be hard to hear. Henry opened the folder. Inside were call logs, emails, and a typed report from Elena. His eyes locked on the first line. Mrs. Mia has offered me $50,000 to witness Mr. William signing documents. His pulse quickened. What is this? Elena's been documenting Mia's visits to your father's house, Linda said. When you're traveling for work, Mia shows up with legal papers, claiming they're for tax purposes. She's been pressuring William to sign, saying you want him to. Elena refused to cooperate, so Mia offered bribes, starting at $10,000 and climbing. Henry's mind raced. Mia, 35, a marketing executive with a disarming smile, had always seemed devoted. She planned their vacations, hosted dinners, and charmed William with stories of his old shipping days. But this? Why didn't Elena tell me sooner? She was scared of overstepping. But when Mia raised a bribe to $50,000, Elena contacted me. She's recorded conversations as evidence. Linda handed him a USB drive. Listen to this tonight, but brace yourself. Henry gripped the drive, his knuckles whitening. What's Mia trying to get him to sign? A codicil to William's will, adding her as a direct beneficiary for $2 million, plus your mother's jewelry collection, worth another $1 million. She's working with Marcus Webb, an attorney known for contesting estates. Linda's voice hardened. She's been strategic, visiting when you're away, using William's confusion to her advantage. Henry stood, pacing to the window. Outside, Brooklyn bustled, oblivious to his crumbling world. Mia had joined him at charity galas, laughed at his jokes, shared his bed. Had it all been a performance? How long has this been going on? 3 months, based on Elena's notes. But Henry, there's more. Mia's done this before. Her first husband's grandmother had dementia. Right before her death, the will changed to favor Mia. The family fought it in court and won, but it cost them years and thousands in fees. Henry's stomach churned. 5 years of marriage, and he'd missed the signs. Mia's insistence on organizing William's papers, her questions about his trusts, her sudden interest in estate law seminars. He'd thought she was being supportive. What we do now? We act fast, Linda said. William still has lucid moments. We can protect his assets with an irrevocable trust, naming you as sole trustee and excluding Mia entirely. But we need to move before she escalates. Escalates how? Henry asked, dreading the answer. Linda hesitated. Elena found searches on Mia's laptop at William's house. Power of attorney forms, competency hearings, even medications that can worsen dementia symptoms. She's exploring every angle. Henry's jaw clenched. Mia wasn't just after money. She was calculating ways to manipulate his father's mind. Set it up. I want it airtight. Good. I've already contacted Alan Fitzgerald, the best elder law attorney in New York. We'll meet tomorrow morning at William's house. Bring him, and we'll have 2 doctors certify his capacity. Mia can't know yet. Act normal tonight." Henry nodded, but normal felt impossible. He drove home to their Upper West Side apartment, where Mia was already waiting, chopping vegetables for dinner. "You're late," she said, flashing a smile. "Work keeping you busy again?" Something like that. Henry forced a casual tone, watching her closely. Her movements were precise, confident, but now he saw the calculation in every gesture. "How was your day?" "Oh, the usual. I was thinking we should visit your dad tomorrow. I'm worried about him." Her voice was warm, but her eyes flicked to him, gauging his reaction. "Sure," Henry lied, his heart pounding. "Let's plan for the afternoon." He needed her out of the house for the meeting. As she turned back to the stove, he slipped the USB drive into his pocket, already dreading what he'd hear when he played it. Henry barely slept, the USB drive burning a hole in his conscience. At 2 a.m., he slipped into his home office, locked the door, and plugged the drive into his laptop. Elena's recordings played, each word from Mia slicing deeper. "Elena, $50,000 could change your life," Mia's voice purred. "Just witness the signature." Henry's too busy to notice. Elena's firm reply followed. "I protect Mr. William, not betray him." The recordings, 5 in total, detailed Mia's escalating bribes and subtle threats, her tone shifting from charm to menace when Elena refused. The final clip chilled Henry. "If you don't help, Elena, I'll make sure you're out of a job when I control William's care." He shut the laptop, rage and betrayal warring within him. Mia, asleep in their bed, had orchestrated a calculated scheme while he'd been closing deals in Chicago and London. Her concern for William was a facade, her every gesture a step towards stealing his father's legacy. Henry forced himself to focus. Linda's plan to protect William's $10 million hinged on today's meeting. He had to play his part. At breakfast, Mia sipped coffee, scrolling through her phone. "I booked a tennis lesson at 9, she said, eyes flicking up. "But I can cancel if we're visiting your dad." "No, keep it," Henry replied, his voice even. "I've got an early call with Tokyo. Let's visit him later." Her nod was too quick, as if she'd been waiting for an opening. Henry's stomach twisted. Did she suspect he knew? He left for William's Upper East Side brownstone, arriving at 8:30. Elena greeted him at the door, her expression a mix of relief and resolve. "She called this morning, asking if William was alone today," Elena whispered. "I told her you were coming." She hung up fast. "Good work," Henry said, handing her a burner phone. "If she shows up, text me immediately. Don't let her in." Elena nodded, slipping the phone into her pocket. William sat in his study, watching a documentary on cargo ships, a remnant of his logistics empire. Today was a good day. His eyes were clear, his voice steady. "Henry, you look like hell," he said, muting the TV. "What's going on?" Henry hesitated, then sat beside him. "Dad, it's about Mia. She's been trying to get you to sign papers, hasn't she?" William's jaw tightened. "She came last week, said you wanted me to sign something for taxes. I told her to wait for you. She got pushy, said you were too busy. I didn't sign." He rubbed his temples. "Some days, I can't tell what's real, but I know she's not right." "You did good, Dad." Henry squeezed his shoulder. "We're fixing this today." Alan Fitzgerald, the elder law attorney, arrived at 9, followed by 2 doctors, Dr. Patel and Dr. Nguyen. They spent an hour assessing William, asking about his assets, his intentions, and his understanding of the situation. "He's competent today," Dr. Patel concluded. "He can make informed decisions with guidance." Alan spread documents on a dining table. "We're creating an irrevocable trust," he explained. "It moves all of William's assets, house, accounts, your mother's jewelry, out of reach. Henry, you're the sole trustee. Mia's explicitly excluded from any benefit or role." He pointed to a clause. "This poison pill provision disinherits anyone who challenges the trust." It's ironclad. Henry scanned the papers, his resolve hardening. "What if she claims Dad wasn't competent?" "We're recording everything," Alan said, nodding to a videographer setting up. "With medical certifications and William's testimony, her arguments won't hold." The videographer focused on William, who sat upright in his old leather chair. William Carter, established this trust to protect my legacy," he said, voice firm. "I exclude Mia Carter, my son's wife, because she's tried to exploit my condition for money. He detailed her visits, the papers, the pressure. My son, Henry, has my full trust. Mia has none. Henry's phone buzzed. A text from Elena on the burner. Mia's here, demanding to see William. His pulse spiked. She's at the gate, he told Alan. Can we stall her? Keep her out, Alan said. We need an hour to finalize. Henry texted Elena. Tell her I'm with Dad. Call police if she won't leave. He turned to William. Dad, she's trying again. Right now. William's eyes flashed with the sharpness of his old self. Let her try. She won't get a dime. Outside, Elena's voice carried through the intercom, calm but firm. Mrs. Carter, Mr. Henry, and Mr. William are in a private meeting. You need to leave. Mia's response was sharp, insistent, but Elena held her ground. Minutes later, a police siren wailed faintly. Mia had pushed too far. Inside, William signed the trust documents, his hand steady. The notary stamped each page, and Alan's team witnessed. It's done, Alan said. Her windows closed. Henry exhaled, but tension lingered. Mia would know soon, and her reaction would be unpredictable. As the doctors and Alan packed up, Henry's phone rang. Mia. He let it go to voicemail. Henry, why is Elena locking me out? I'm your wife. Call me now. Her voice cracked with panic, not concern. She knows something's wrong, Henry said to Alan. What's next? Go home. Act normal, Alan advised. We'll file the trust tomorrow and notify her attorney. She'll have no legal ground to stand on. Henry drove back, the city blurring past. At home, Mia was pacing the kitchen. What's going on with you, Dad? Elena treated me like a criminal. Her tone was accusatory, but her eyes searched his, probing for cracks. Dad's fine, Henry said, forcing calm. Just a routine checkup. Why were you there? I wanted to surprise him with lunch, she said too quickly. You're acting strange, Henry. Is something wrong? Just work stress. He turned away, pouring a glass of water to hide his clenched fist. Tonight, he'd play the oblivious husband one last time. Tomorrow, the facade would shatter. Henry woke to Mia's phone buzzing relentlessly on the nightstand. It was 6 a.m., and she was already in the shower, oblivious to the storm about to break. He checked his own phone. Linda had texted, trust filed. Meet me at my office at 10 to discuss divorce proceedings. Henry's heart raced. Today, Mia would learn her scheme to steal William's $10 million had failed. He dressed quietly, slipping out before Mia emerged, leaving a note. Early meeting. Back for lunch. At Linda's Brooklyn office, Henry met Sylvia Martinez, a divorce attorney with a reputation for dismantling fraudulent marriages. Sylvia laid out a plan. We file for divorce, citing elder financial exploitation, she said, flipping through Elena's recordings and the trust documents. The evidence, bribes, Marcus Webb's involvement, her laptop searches, shows intent to defraud. She'll get nothing from marital assets. Henry nodded, his resolve stealing. She's expecting to visit Dad this afternoon. How do we handle that? Don't let her near him, Sylvia said. We'll serve her divorce papers at her tennis club at noon. Public but discreet. She'll have no chance to manipulate William again. Linda added, the DA's Elder Abuse Unit is reviewing Elena's recordings. They're building a criminal case. Expect charges soon. Henry's phone lit up with a call from Elena. Mr. Henry, Mia's at the gate again, demanding to see Mr. William. She brought that lawyer, Webb. Call the police, Henry instructed. Don't let them in. I'm on my way. He hung up, adrenaline surging. Mia was escalating, unaware the trust had already locked her out. At Williams' brownstone, 2 police officers stood by the gate, questioning Mia and Marcus Webb. Mia's voice carried, sharp with indignation. I'm his daughter-in-law. This is absurd. Webb, a wiry man with a briefcase, tried to calm her, but his eyes darted nervously. Henry approached, keeping his distance. What's going on, Mia? She spun to face him, her composure cracking. Why is Elena barring me from seeing your father? And why are you here? Dad's safe, Henry said coldly. That's what matters. Webb stepped forward. Mr. Carter, my client is concerned about William's welfare. We have documents he needs to review. Documents? Henry's voice was ice. Like the ones you tried to get him to sign last week? He's not signing anything. Mia's eyes narrowed. What are you accusing me of, Henry? Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. Sylvia. Papers ready. Process server en route to her club. Henry pocketed the phone. We'll talk later, Mia. I have a meeting. He drove to the tennis club, arriving just as the process server handed Mia the divorce papers in the lobby. She froze, scanning the documents, her hands trembling. The words elder financial exploitation stood out in bold. "Henry, what is this?" she hissed, catching sight of him. "You know exactly what it is," he said, stepping closer. "You try to steal from my father. Bribes, forged documents, working with Webb. It's over." Her face contorted, a mix of panic and defiance. "You're paranoid. I was helping William. You can't prove anything." "Elena recorded everything," Henry said. "Your voice, your bribes, your threats. The DA has it all." Mia's bravado faltered. "Henry, please. We can fix this. I'm your wife." "You were never my wife," he said, turning away. "You were a thief in my house." By afternoon, news of the divorce filing spread through their social circle. Mia's phone buzzed with texts from colleagues and club members, some curious, others cutting her off. Her marketing firm placed her on leave pending an investigation. Henry returned to William's house, where Elena was updating security protocols. "She tried to call him after you left," Elena said. "I blocked her number." William, sitting in his study, looked up from a model ship he was tinkering with. "Did you stop her?" he asked, his voice clear but frail. "She's out, Dad," Henry said. "The trust is secure. She can't touch anything." William's eyes softened. "I'm sorry, son. I should have warned you. She was too eager, always asking about my accounts." "You did enough," Henry said. "You didn't sign her papers." That evening, Sylvia called with an update. "Mia's hired a lawyer, but her case is weak. She's claiming you coerced William into the trust, but the video, medical reports, and Elena's recordings bury her. The DA's moving forward with charges, attempted grand larceny, and elder abuse." Henry exhaled, the weight of 5 years of deception lifting slightly. "What's her next move?" "She'll try to settle," Sylvia said. "Beg for a deal to avoid jail. But she's burned every bridge. No firm will touch her now." At home, Henry found Mia packing a suitcase. "You're ruining my life," she said, her voice low and bitter. "I was trying to secure our future." "Our future?" Henry's laugh was hollow. "You calculated Dad's death like a stock trade. Get out." She grabbed her bag and left, the door slamming behind her. Henry stood alone, the silence heavy with the wreckage of their marriage. He called Sylvia. "File everything. Criminal charges, divorce, all of it. I want her held accountable." "Done," Sylvia said. "The DA's meeting with us tomorrow. Mia's about to face a reckoning." The courthouse loomed over downtown Manhattan, its stone facade unyielding as Henry arrived for the divorce hearing. It was a crisp Tuesday morning, 3 weeks after Mia had been served papers at the tennis club. Her absence from their Upper West Side apartment left an eerie quiet, but Henry's focus was razor-sharp. Today, Mia would face the consequences of her attempt to siphon $10 million from William's estate. Sylvia Martinez, his divorce attorney, met him outside the courtroom. "Ready?" she asked, her briefcase stuffed with Elena's recordings and the trust documents. "More than ever," Henry replied, his voice steady despite the knot in his gut. Inside, Mia sat with her lawyer, a budget hire who looked out of his depth. She avoided Henry's gaze, her posture rigid, hands clasped tightly. The judge, a stern woman with decades on the bench, called the case. Sylvia presented the evidence with surgical precision. Elena's recordings of Mia's bribe offers, Marcus Webb's notarized attempts to alter William's will, and search histories from Mia's laptop detailing dementia-exacerbating drugs. Mrs. Carter orchestrated a deliberate scheme to exploit her father-in-law's diminished capacity, Sylvia stated. She offered $50,000 to the caregiver to falsify signatures and conspired with an attorney to divert $2 million and a $1 million jewelry collection. Mia's lawyer countered weakly, claiming she acted out of concern for William's finances. "My client was protecting the family's interests," he said, fumbling through papers. "Mr. Carter's accusations are overblown." The judge raised an eyebrow. "I've heard the recordings. Mrs. Carter's concern sounds like coercion. Her searches for untraceable medications suggest intent beyond financial gain." She turned to Mia. "Do you have anything to add?" Mia stood, her voice trembling but defiant. "I was trying to help William. Henry's painting me as a villain to cut me out of the family." Henry's jaw clenched. Sylvia leaned in. "Don't react. She's desperate." The judge dismissed Mia's statement, citing the overwhelming evidence. "Divorce granted on grounds of fault," she ruled. "Mrs. Carter, you're entitled to your premarital assets, $150 000 and nothing more. No alimony. No claim to marital property. Mia's lawyer whispered urgently, but she waved him off, storming out of the courtroom. Henry exhaled, the legal victory bittersweet. Sylvia clapped his shoulder. She's done. The criminal case is next. By afternoon, the DA's elder abuse unit had filed charges: attempted grand larceny, conspiracy to commit fraud, and elder financial exploitation. Detective Sarah Walker called Henry with an update. We arrested Mia this morning at her hotel. She's out on bail, but facing felony charges. With Elena's recordings, she's looking at a plea deal or trial. What's her play now? Henry asked, driving to Williams Brownstone. She's pushing for a plea to avoid jail, Sarah said. Probation, restitution, and a permanent ban from financial work. Her career's over either way. At Williams' house, Elena was organizing his medications while he napped. The police called, she said. Mia's banned from contacting Mr. William. They're watching her. Henry nodded, gratitude swelling. You saved him, Elena. I'll never forget that. She shrugged. It's my job to protect, not enable thieves. William woke, his eyes clearer than usual. Heard about the divorce, he said, sitting up. You did right, son. She thought I was an easy mark. You saw through her, Henry said. That's what kept us ahead. William chuckled faintly. Barely. Some days, I'd have signed anything. Elena stopped her every time. Henry's phone buzzed. A text from a colleague. Mia's firm fired her. FINRA's investigating her license. Her professional life was unraveling faster than expected. Social media posts from their former circle confirmed her expulsion from the tennis club and charity boards. Mia's carefully curated reputation was collapsing under the weight of her own actions. That evening, Henry met Linda at her office to discuss the next steps. The DA's offering a deal, she said. 5 years probation, $100,000 in restitution for Williams' legal costs, and a lifetime ban from financial or caregiving roles. She'll likely take it. Her lawyer knows a trial would bury her. What if she fights? Henry asked. She can't afford to, Linda said. Her assets are frozen, pending the restitution order. She's living off credit cards in a midtown hotel. Henry leaned back, processing. Mia had gambled everything. His trust, their marriage, her career, for a shot at Williams' wealth, and lost. Push for the maximum penalty, he said. I want her to feel the consequences. The next morning, Henry visited William, who was reviewing old shipping logs, a rare moment of clarity. You're free of her, William said. Now what? I'm starting a foundation, Henry replied, to train caregivers like Elena and fund legal aid for elder abuse victims. Your legacy will protect others. William's eyes glistened. Your mother would have liked that. She always said protect the vulnerable. As Henry left, his phone rang. Mia's lawyer. She wants to meet, discuss reconciliation, he said. She's willing to drop any countersuits. No deal, Henry said. She made her choices. Tell her to face the courtroom. He hung up, the finality settling in. Mia's schemes had united him with William and Elena in a way she'd never anticipated. Her betrayal had forged a stronger family, one she'd never touch again. 6 months after the divorce, Henry stood at the podium of a Manhattan community center, launching the William Carter Foundation. The room buzzed with caregivers, attorneys, and families, all gathered to learn about preventing elder financial abuse. Henry's voice carried conviction as he shared his father's story, omitting Mia's name but detailing her tactics, bribes, forged documents, and manipulation of a vulnerable man's trust. This foundation trains caregivers to spot predators and funds legal aid for victims, he said. No family should face what we did. Elena, now the foundation's lead trainer, took the stage next, sharing her recording's role in stopping Mia. Document everything, she urged. A single note or recording can save a legacy. The audience, scribbling notes, included a woman who approached Henry afterward. My uncle's new girlfriend is pushing him to sign papers, she said, voice shaky. What do I do? Get a caregiver like Elena, hire an elder law attorney, and act now, Henry advised. Don't wait for proof. She's already moving. The woman nodded, determination replacing fear. Henry handed her a foundation card, knowing another family might be spared. William's health had declined since the trust creation, but he remained at home, cared for by Elena. On a clear day, he called Henry to his study. Saw your foundation launch on the news, he said, his voice weak but proud. You turned her poison into something good. You gave me the strength, Dad, Henry replied, gripping his hand. Your clarity that day saved everything. William smiled faintly. Keep protecting people, son. It's what we do. That evening, he slipped away peacefully, Elena and Henry by his side. His final words were about Henry's mother. Tell her I kept my promise. The funeral drew colleagues from Williams' logistics days and foundation supporters. Henry spoke briefly, focusing on his father's resilience. He faced betrayal, but never lost his trust in family, he said. The $10 million trust, now funding the foundation and Henry's children's future, stood as Williams' enduring legacy. Mia's criminal case resolved a month later. Facing trial, she took a plea, 5 years probation, $100,000 restitution, and a permanent ban for financial or caregiving work. The DA's office sent Henry the final report. She's working as a cashier in Queens, Detective Sarah Walker noted. Her old firm blacklisted her, and FINRA revoked her license. She's done. Henry felt no satisfaction, only closure. Mia's social media, once filled with gala photos, now showed a sparse profile, her post deleted after brutal comment called out her conviction. Her attempt to contest the trust fizzled when her lawyer withdrew, citing no viable case. The trust's poison pill clause and Williams' video testimony had sealed her fate. Henry's life moved forward. He met Emily, a pediatric surgeon, at a foundation event. She insisted on transparency from the start, sharing her financial records unprompted. I know what you went through, she said. No secrets. Their first date, splitting a diner check, felt like a fresh start. When they got engaged, Emily proposed a prenup. It's about trust, not doubt, she said. Henry agreed, the document a shield for both. The foundation grew, training hundreds of caregivers and funding dozens of legal cases. One family, guided by Henry's advice, stopped a stepson from draining his mother's $500,000 estate. Elena became a sought-after speaker, her story of thwarting Mia inspiring others. Predators rely on silence, she told audiences. Speak up, and they lose. A year after William's death, Henry visited his grave, leaving a model ship from his father's collection. We did it, Daddy said. Your legacy's safe, and it's helping others. Emily joined him, her presence steady and genuine. They married in a quiet ceremony, Elena as a guest of honor, her loyalty now family legend. Henry learned Mia had applied for a bookkeeping job in Connecticut, only to be rejected after a background check. Her name, once synonymous with ambition, now flagged warning systems nationwide. The foundation seminars used her case, without naming her, as a cautionary tale. Don't let a predator rewrite your family's story, Henry told attendees. Act fast, document everything, and trust your instincts. His children, Sarah and Michael, embraced the foundation's mission. Sarah, now in law school, aimed to join the DA's elder abuse unit. Michael interned with a maritime charity, echoing Williams' passion. Both carried a wariness of charm without substance, a lesson etched by Mia's betrayal. As Henry and Emily hosted a foundation fundraiser, a donor shared a rumor. Mia was pitching a memoir, claiming she was misunderstood. The idea sank without traction. Publishers saw her record and passed. Her attempt to rewrite history failed, just as her scheme had. Henry raised a glass to the crowd. To protecting the vulnerable, he said, his eyes on Elena, who smiled back. Mia had sought to steal a fortune, but lost everything. William's legacy, and Henry's family, emerged stronger, united by a justice that outlasted her greed.